ever 1992 Nissan Pulsar GTI-R. Literally have no idea how excited I am about this thing. These were my boyhood crush Japanese car. I had passengered one at a young age just before I got into cars, and I absolutely fell in love with the idea of it. So what is the Nissan Pulsar GTI-R? Well, it is a four-wheel drive 2-litre turbocharged engine homologation to Group A rallying that has the SR20 DET engine, what you would usually find in a Nissan S14, S15. But this is in a little hot hatch, which blows my mind even today that this car even exists. So yes, a 2-litre turbocharged 4-wheel drive, road-going, absolute monster of a car. Now, yes, when they come out of the factory, 220 brake, I think it is. This one, 400 brake. So firstly, massive thank you to Rob for letting me take this car out. He's actually pretty much owned this for 18 years now. Built it up from the ground from a completely standard car. And I can't believe I'm finally driving one of these. I drive a lot of cars, but this one is one of those cars I've wanted to tick off the list for such a long time. But let's take this to some B roads and tick off one of my dream boyhood cars. I'm so excited. Initial impressions. Mind blown, excited, exactly what I wanted it to be. Let's go for a second gear, chuck it in, all of the grip in the actual world, all of the power in the world as well. Turbocharged SR20 DET, so you know this one's been fully forged. It has the bigger turbo on it. So what can I tell you about the drive of this car? It is a point and squirt ridiculous thing. A 1.2 ton car, so 1200 kilos, with 400 brake horsepower and a turbocharger that sounds like God himself is coming on boost. Now there is actually only 200-ish Sunnies that were made and manufactured and sold in the UK. So to have a UK spec one of these is a really rare sight. So this was basically a homologation to Group A rallying and a road going version with 400 brake at nearly makes no difference, 400 foot-pound of torque in this one. So you are thrown in the seat. This thing drives, it tracks like no other little car I've ever driven. They call this the baby Godzilla. I know why. Second gear. The cornering is like, honestly, I've never felt this in a small car ever. I've driven so many little cars. Oh my god.
So guys, let's
let's have a quick look round this 1992 Nissan Pulsar GTI-R. Now, first off, I must declare my love again for this thing. I have got serious love for these Pulsars. Now, taking a look round, this is a Japanese import Pulsar. So it has the SR20 DET 2-litre engine. This one's been fully forged. It's running 400 brake horsepower now. 400 brake horsepower and something this little is insane. But coming around the front of the car, loads of little bits and bobs to point out. The front splitter is actually off an S14. As you can see, some sort of resemblance there, but it looks identical, now I've said it, to the actual S14 front. Coming down, there's a custom indicator just here. I really like the look of this. It's actually forcing air into the airbox, which has been custom made just to this side of the engine. Up front, there's a carbon fibre bonnet replacing obviously the original bonnet. Loving the look of this carbon on this colour as well. This is actually the original colour that it came out of the factory in. Coming down the side of the car, you have these OZs, which have just been freshly put on in sort of a goldy, coppery colour. It's actually sat on BC Racing coilovers as well. Coming to the back of the car, a bit of a Marmite exhaust system this, but this is actually full 3-inch Phoenix Power exhaust system. Again, something that a lot of people probably won't like. I actually quite like the idea of it, you know, twin back boxes coming out either side, sort of like a style of an MR2 of this sort of generation too, but I think it sits quite well at the back of the car. Again, something a bit different on this style of car. Coming to the back of the car though, you have this original spoiler, which I do really like the look of, with the sort of centre bit coming up there, looking from the back end, just coming down with them huge exhaust with the back boxes just coming out. Such a cool look. Coming inside the car, we have a full standard-ish interior, you know, clean sweeping interior in these, but there is quite a lot of obviously aftermarket things with this running quite serious power. You have a boost gauge up here and an air to fuel ratio just here. We have a FC commander just there, and we have an active valve controller just down there. Loving the steering wheel as well, the GTI-R just in there. But something to touch on is these seats obviously didn't come out of the factory in leather, and someone I think in Japan must have retrimmed these at the time with the sort of centre blue, the outside being black, again with the rear seats as well. Something I've actually never seen before. Even the door cards have been done on this car. And coming into the engine bay, you have the SR20 DET, again not standard whatsoever, pushing 400 brake horsepower through this one. It has a fully forged engine block, pistons, crank, everything has been forged on this and is brand new. It has a 3-puck paddle clutch in this, which is terrible. It is so hard to drive. It has the bigger 2871R turbocharger on it as well, just down there, all heat wrapped and everything, looking awesome. And the owner has just finished a custom airbox this side as well, obviously to go with that custom indicator, so it pushes the air into the airbox there. Such a cool look though, and everything is pristine on this. I mean, look at how much detail and work has been put into just this engine bay. But that's enough looking round. Let's get back on the road and enjoy this thing. Wow. That is addictive. Right, so summing up what I've been driving today, which is a car that I've wanted to drive for a long time. Yeah, I must admit I want to drive a lot of cars, but this is one of those things that I've wanted to drive for such a long time, and picking this one, you know, not a standard one, I think was the right thing to do, because this is how I would have built one if I had one, and the power is just so right. 400 brake, it's a lot of power in a little car like this, but it works very well. Chassis is perfect, weight distribution around the car, like you tip it into a turn and it's grip all the way again, and then boost on the other side. That is perfection in a hot hatch. And you know, this isn't talked about as being a hot hatch too much, but I genuinely think it's the hot hatch, especially when you put 400 brake through it. So glad I got a chance to drive this one again. Thank you so much, Rob. That old school feel with the boost coming on and the car coming alive, coupled with that 4-wheel drive, the chuckability and the knowingness that the grip isn't going to fail. The brakes that have been upgraded to 4-piston ones, complement the car so well. It means it's more chuckable and you can, you know, brake a little bit later as well. The power, fully built, fully forged engine, SR20, nothing that drives like this car. That's what I can't say enough about, is the driving feel of something so small and so light with the four-wheel drive, the turbocharged engine, especially at this sort of power. Nothing drives like this, anything I've ever driven. And I can't thank you guys enough for watching. If it wasn't for you watching, I wouldn't be able to be driving this thing right now. So big thank you to you guys. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Check out fydapparel.com, cop yourself some FYD merch so I can carry on producing and driving these awesome, awesome cars for you to enjoy. And I'll see you all on the next video. Cheers, guys.